you've been following me, you know that I am not smooth with the Zoom and the Facebook and all of that. So I'm happy that this one went a little bit better than the last one. So, hi, I'm Michelle Faust with Lemonade Legend, and I have wonderful, wonderful women come on and talk about their stories and their lemon to lemonade stories, their success stories, all their inspirational good stuff that they have to bring. And today I am very excited and with great pleasure have Chelsea Collie on with me today. Hello, Chelsea. How are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. So you are coming from Texas, Kyle, Texas, which
Yep,
is Dallas area?
it's near Austin.
Oh, Austin. Okay. Okay. So now I know. I actually know a couple of people who are in Kyle, so I should know that by now. But anyways, I love Texas, so it doesn't matter. You're in Texas, so you're great in my book.
Howdy.
So I appreciate you being here. I know you have a busy life. You have a toddler, Jackson. Well, I guess he's more of a baby than a toddler. How old is Jackson?
I don't know. I mean, he's a year and 2 months. He's 14 months. So apparently
Okay.
he's a toddler, but he seems like a baby to me still. So.
Yeah, but I have seen him on his own 2 feet, so that makes him a toddler, right?
He's working on walking. He's getting very close.
Well, watch out. That's all I can say. Welcome. And Chelsea, I haven't known you for a long time, really probably only a few months. And you and I became acquainted through just some different connections that we share. And you invited me to be on your summit, Survive and Thrive, which was on Mother's Day weekend. And you did an outstanding job of that. So I really want to congratulate you on that.
Thank
Um,
you.
you had some big time names on. How'd you do
Thank
that?
you.
How'd you get the
I
likes of Bill Walsh and Sharon Lecter? I mean, oh wow,
I asked. and I
that's all you
prayed
have to do.
and I prayed, God, please. And I think
Well,
it was great timing too, with everybody being home and
and I have heard that too. Some of these people who make big bucks being on the stage, they're usually in the air flying somewhere or on the stage, and they can't fit the time in. And now they can, which is kind of a
right,
beautiful thing. And I think they genuinely enjoy being able to help us little people who are really trying to grow our business. And I mean, because that's how they became big, is by coaching and helping entrepreneurs. So I think it's a beautiful thing that they're taking this time when they have time to help people like us.
absolutely. And I didn't initially have Bill Walsh on my list of speakers that I wanted um, because I was thinking, oh, he's so busy, he doesn't have time, to help little old me. Um, but I saw that he's getting out there. He's more than willing to help a lot of people. I've seen him on other events and supporting a lot of his students. And I was like, why not me? I'm talking to moms about working from home, and what better person to talk to, when starting a business than Bill Walsh. And so I was like, yeah, I'm going to ask him. And I reached out to Sharon Lecter right away. I just sent her a voice message on Facebook. She wasn't even my friend, but she listened on Messenger. And I fumbled my way through it. I was all starstruck, but I think she just heard my heart, that of what I wanted to do, and she has a heart for helping like entrepreneurs who are starting out. So I feel like I was really blessed and really. I mean, she's a huge celebrity. She's one of the biggest influencers that I know. I've never heard of any other woman selling more books. And so she's right up there with Oprah for me.
Yeah,
And
right.
so
Yeah.
yes, was a huge
But
encouragement to me.
you not only are blessed, but you also are brave. And brave, not in the sense of, wow, you were brave to do that. Brave in the sense that, yeah, why not just ask? You know? I mean, seriously, I think we make too many assumptions that somebody is, oh, they're too big for me. They're not going to take time for me. But the fact that you just reached out there is a brave thing, because too many people won't do that. I mean, what's the
Right.
worst that can happen? They say
Say
no.
no. Right. And then also, one of the first things, because her team did contact me, and one of the first things they asked was, we like to know kind of what other people are going to be part of this event. Can you let us know some of the speakers? So to be able to say, Angel Tussey, Bill Walsh, these are people she's familiar with, she's worked with. And if Bill is saying yes, then that's pretty much okay, I can say yes
Yeah.
too. So that's the advantage of getting around amazing groups like people like the one we've met in.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it truly is. And a Sharonism. Sharon always liked to, say the power of association. And so the people you surround yourself with and connect with can elevate your status. I mean, so much, just because you're associating with powerful and amazing people. And so
Yes.
we have a lot of mutual connections, and I think we've both been able to experience that. So that's very cool. So tell me a little bit about Chelsea.
Okay. Well, I think what just back up a little bit. What's unique about the way we met was that I actually met you in a small room, lunch and learn in Dallas, and I don't think I had heard of the lemonade stand yet. But you stood up there and you shared, and that was just a group of, I mean, it was like 20 or 30 people. And we had both traveled in from out of town to go to this lunch and learn. It was just a great vibe. But then seeing you everywhere on all these events, and having connected with you in person first, I felt very honored, because that was right before you went to your to Miami for the media boot camp, right? And then everything got shut down for coronavirus.
Like, we made it out of Florida, like, I think just in time.
Yeah.
And I've been home ever since. So that was the end of sort of a whirlwind trip around New Orleans and Louisville and Dallas and Florida. And then boom, now I've been home.
Oh, wow. So that was a little whirlwind. And then you've been home for
and now I'm home
3 months.
I'm itching to get out.
That was in February.
Yeah. So I think I got back. Oh, I take that back. I got back from Florida, and then I had to go to Chicago for a funeral. So I kind of snuck out when things were like, I shouldn't have been flying, but I did wear a face mask on the flight. But it was an important funeral. But anyway, so yeah, so that was March the 3rd. So yeah, solidly at home since March the 5th, and yeah, I'm starting to think, if I could get on a plane, where would I go?
Right now?
Yeah, because I like being out. I like traveling, but
Yes.
I've enjoyed the home time too. It's kind of been nice to just sit back and.
Oh, I miss traveling, but right now I miss traveling because it's like it feeds my soul, and I just love going places I've never been.
Yeah.
But right now I'm so good not traveling, because I'm scared to fly. I've never been scared to fly before in my life, but having a little baby, 1-year-old, he's highly susceptible. He's considered high risk.
Yeah.
For respiratory things. So.
Yeah. Yeah, so not wise for you, to be getting on a plane with Jackson, but
right.
But in due time. So I know a little bit about your background, and I want you to put a little teaser out there, if you would. we never share the whole story because you are going to be contributing to the Lemonade Legend magazine, and I love about your story. And you know me, I'm a storyteller. I'm all about it. So just give us like the little synopsis.
Okay. When I tell my story, I'm not good at the little one yet, so I'm working it down.
Okay.
Hit the high and the low points and move on. So I grew up with my mom as an only child, and she was a single mom. And we had a great relationship. Born in Kansas, she was a nurse who would have lots of time off together to travel and do fun stuff and see music and go to festivals and all kinds of, trips. And our family lived in Kansas, and she moved us to Austin when I was 11. So between like elementary school and middle school.
Right.
And I loved Austin, and she loved Austin, and she met a great group of people, and she eventually got engaged, and he was fantastic. And just suddenly, when I was 16, there was a car accident, and there's 5 of them going to a concert, and accident, so they both died suddenly. And it was like Chris died on the spot. My mom, they life flighted her to the hospital, and she technically she died the next day, but she was unconscious and everything. So I pretty much feel like her soul went, with the accident. And so that was just like my best friend and my one person, like my one best friend and my whole family in one person. So losing her, it was like, of course, we never planned for it. My mom never planned for it. And apparently she made a will, but she never told me where she put it or left instructions to anybody. So I had to bear all that as a 16-year-old, going in and out of the court system over the next 2+ years, in the probate court process. And also in the way that she passed, there were multiple lawsuits against Ford and Firestone because of the faulty tires. There was 150 people that died in Florida and Texas, and it was a result of the tire losing its tread when it was combined with like high speed, hot temperatures, and this malfunctioned group of tires that didn't have this sealant, this 89-cent sealant that was missing from it. And it killed a lot of people. So they recalled it in South America and Central America and Mexico. And they waited to recall it in the United States because Ford Explorer was the #1 selling SUV at the time. So, there was eventually a recall, but that was in August, and the accident was in June. And actually, in like 2 weeks, it's going to be 20 years.
Yeah.
Can't even believe it. It's like,
wow.
20 years on June 11th. So it's hard to believe. So I really had to just grow up overnight. And I was given a lump sum of money too, which I don't share that with everybody. But that really just accelerated the highs and the lows, I feel like, because I was spending money and round of shots for everybody in the bar and like taking my friends on trips, and I didn't know who or what was real, but it was like, okay, never take life for granted because you could die any second. And that's how I lived my life for a long time. And I got through college, and I just kind of stayed in that party mode for a long time. Yeah. And so like when I really knew I was having issues, I decided I'm going to move to Kansas and be near my family. Maybe that will help. And of course I took all my problems with me. So it really wasn't until I I say I knocked on 10,000 dead end doors, searching for my true support system. And it was back in Austin where I started. And that's when I came back after 5 years and started building from the ground up, and
Yeah.
worked on myself a lot over the last like 10 years. So I really feel like just having the support system in my life. And I met Sean, and he is such a rock in my
That's your
life.
husband. I don't, not everybody out there knows that Sean is your husband. So I just
My husband, and I asked him if he had patience when I met him, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm a pretty patient man." I'm like, "Good, you're gonna need it."
yeah. Well, you were honest, so that's a good thing. So do you
Yeah.
think though in that, so with your mom, which I am so sorry for that loss, that's horrific, but
Thank you.
do you think the fact that she was not just your mom, but she was your best friend, she was your whole support system, um, who was there for you to rely on? Anyone? You know, in those first few years when you were 16, 17, 18?
I really relied on my teenage friends.
Wow. Teenage friends don't make good parents.
Yeah,
Which
I
is
really,
probably what led to the partying and the trips and things like that.
yeah,
And I'm sure that spending the money sort of filled a void for you as
hmm,
well.
absolutely. It was like therapy, and I didn't know anybody when I moved to Houston for college. Um, and so I planned my college classes so I could watch my soap opera. And I went to the mall every week because I didn't have friends, and I went to the gallery and I bought lots of pretty cool things. But that's what I did. It's like I felt so good buying things, and then I'd get home and I'd feel horrible. So it was just a horrible cycle.
So you were kind of a lost child, I'm gonna
Yeah.
assume. And but here you are now, and you're married, you have a little boy, and you are a budding entrepreneur. So you're doing something really, really good. Was there a trigger, or was there like a breakthrough moment that made you realize that, you know, partying and throwing money away and just wasn't it? I mean, how'd you make the shift?
Um, well, I did in my partying times. Actually, I mean, there was a couple days where I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, and I learned later that I was extremely manic. And so I found out that I was bipolar. And that was like my first bipolar episode. And that's when I was like 22. And so that landed me in the hospital. And that's what kind of triggered the move to Kansas and everything. So when I went to the hospital for the second time, that's when it really was like, okay, it's either, this is my life, and I'm going to be numb and on medication, and, or in and out of the hospital. Like, that's not what I want. So really from there, it's kind of like I stopped digging. Yeah.
Good for you. Good for you. So, so I know you have a book coming out. I want to talk about that, and also refer back a little bit to that Survive and Thrive virtual summit you had, because that was really geared toward moms who were trying to start a business. Is that right?
Right. Yeah. And not knowing where to start, just simply wanting to make money from home, wanting to start their own business, or they've already have their own business and wanting to build that.
Yeah. Which I think an awful lot of people right now are trying to figure out how to make that shift to work from home.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to put themselves out there vulnerable to get fired. Um, and not only that, but as hard as a job as it is to be an entrepreneur, it's liberating as well. So I think it's what everybody wants to do. So what are your superpowers for helping young moms, make that leap or make the growth happen?
Well, I think with moms too, it's like if you're a professional or you already kind of have a side hustle that's somewhat working, um, it's a different place. And when you're a mom or you're just a mom or stay-at-home mom, it's like you kind of lose yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
And I definitely learned that for myself, but also I just see it in other people. So I think it's about the biggest thing is that it's taking time for us. It's not selfish, even though we feel like we're being selfish if we're doing something that we truly want to do. And so I think that's kind of the first realization is acknowledging that, you know, paying attention and following the dreams in our hearts is going to be what's best for our family, even though it may not seem like it right now.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Well, as women, I mean, that just goes hand in hand with having guilt. And then you add
Right.
the title mother on top of that. You got a lot of guilt going on. Not by rights, it shouldn't be that way, but it's just what we fall into. And so I think women who are mothers of young children are particularly struggle with that entrepreneurial leap and really need the support more than anything, and to know that they can do it. And
it's women too, you know, single women, married women, not just moms.
Yep. Yep. I know that you and I were on the same Connect Summit meeting this morning. Actually, it's still going on. We're missing it, but but we got to see Les Brown. So I was so glad that he was scheduled then, so I didn't have to miss it. And he was very inspiring. But I took so many notes. But one of the things is just when he was talking about, and he was just saying, "You have greatness in you." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he was speaking to everyone. And I think that the realization of that, that's where we beat ourselves up so much, that we don't believe that there's greatness in us. And to hear him say it was just, I don't know, such certainty, it was just,
Yeah,
really made me feel good. I aspire.
absolutely.
I want to be like that.
Yes, and all the quotes he was referencing too. I was like, oh, Helen Keller said this. Oh,
I know. It was hard to keep up. Tell me
because
about
you
your
want to
book.
start talking those sound bullets, you know?
Yeah. And there was a lot going on because people are putting it in the chat, all the nuggets and the quotes and everything. And I'm just like going, there's so much going on here. But in the 10 minutes or so that we have, let's talk a little bit about your book, because books are an empowering thing. I'm all about, I love books, and I get so excited when people actually just do it, just get it done. And you have also a beautiful cover, and it's a kind of a combination. Oh, you got it! Yay! Isn't that beautiful? Be a life breather. And did you have somebody come up with the graphic of the woman?
Yeah, I worked with a hybrid publisher.
Okay.
And so I paid them $5,000 and they handled everything except for I handled the manuscript.
Okay.
I handled the editing, the marketing, the book, the design, the layout, blah, blah, everything.
They did a great job on the cover and the graphics.
Yeah, and it's called Purposely Created if you are interested in that. Where you don't have to do all the crap yourself. Also, you own the rights and you earn all the sales. It's publishyourgift.com if anybody wants to use them.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that. So it's kind of a combination of a book to read and a workbook, right? So tell us about it.
Yes, absolutely. So it's kind of half and half, although there's some exercises throughout, but it's kind of half book and half workbook. And it is a workbook size. So it is actually like this size.
Okay.
Whereas like this is a normal size book.
Right. Right.
It's
Yep.
like a big workbook size. So it's basically kind of like my story and helping people acknowledge that the power that they have within them. And I feel like that's my superpower, is helping people step up into their best selves, or achieve your highest potential, take back your power, that kind of thing. Yeah, so it's basically my story, my philosophy, and then it's the rest of it is all about you. And then, you know, the readers are the ones who are gonna do the work. Not a lot of reading, but when you get about halfway through, you know, it talks about what do you truly want. Then you make your bucket list. And then from there, it just has the framework for you to be able to break that down. So bucket list is 20 years and beyond, and then you break it down to 10 years, break it down to 5 years, 2 years, 1 year, 6 months, 12 weeks, 1 month, 1 week, 1 day. And so people don't take the time to do that, you know, although they could. You could just get out a notebook and do it.
No, but I think people need to be guided along that, you know.
Right.
There's a lot of things people can just go out and do on their own, but, you know, for what other reason they don't.
And it's big. I mean, it's kind of overwhelming. You think, okay, for the rest of my life, I need to do these 25 things, or 50 things. It's kind of overwhelming, but yeah, when you have a guide, you have a community, and you can kind of do it in pieces, then you can basically design your life and start living the life of your dreams.
That's awesome. That is inspiring, and I'm sure there are some women out there who are just looking for that nudge and that step-by-step process. So when does it come out?
So the official release date is July 22nd.
Okay.
And for the pre-orders, they will get it the week before. So for pre-sales, I'm selling pre-sale gift boxes. If they want to like my page, it's called Be a Life Breather. Be a Life Breather. And it's just my Facebook page, and it has the information of how to order your gift box. But it's going to be $19.95 for the book, and the gift box is $29, includes shipping. It has a bunch of other free stuff in there that's really cool.
Oh, cool. I love free stuff.
Yeah, and they get it before anybody else can even order it, which I feel is pretty cool too.
Yeah, most people want to be the first one in line, you know, so that's a great thing. Well, that's awesome. I mean, you've got a lot going on here, so that's super. I mean, I haven't put on a virtual summit. I've been in a few, but I can't imagine the work it took to put it all on and have it seamlessly, you know, happen. So such an accomplishment. And
the greatest part is being able to pre-record everything.
Yeah.
So I mean, I really took about 3 weeks. It took about 3 weeks to make, 21 recordings.
Yeah.
But
we're not.
I could just go and play them.
And I think yours is the first one that I've watched, when I wasn't, I watched the whole thing because I had pre-recorded my presentation. So it was the first one I had watched that had pre-recorded presentation. So I wasn't really sure how it was going to come out. And it actually worked really, really well. So, you kind of set the tone for that. So anyway, so I'm excited to say as well that Chelsea is going to be in the June edition of Lemonade Legend magazine, and also with a special edition where you will be on the cover. And then you are going to be also an author in the Lemonade Stand book. too. So I'm thrilled. I am thrilled. And not only because you have a great story, but you're a very talented and beautiful young woman, and because you're a young woman. I get a lot of people who have really had their life story, you know, and so I love it when somebody who is, you know, brings a little, you know, youthful blood in and adds that to the mix. So that's going to be great.
Thank you
And
for
I,
saying that, because
yeah,
because it's great that
absolutely. No,
people still think of me as young.
hey, to me anymore, everybody's a baby.
I
My
definitely
birthday's
would
tomorrow. I'm
love.
not going to tell you how old I'm going to be. Oh,
It's your birthday tomorrow?
yes.
Yay!
So feel free to send gifts to me, Mara.
All right.
Yeah. So actually, it's a great time to have a birthday because I'm almost always like right around the holiday weekend. Like this falls in the middle of the week this time, but so many times during my life, it's fallen on the Friday or the Saturday, Sunday, Monday of Memorial Weekend, and so it's you know when that happens, it feels like a 4-day celebration. So
Happy
right.
birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. But the point being, anymore, you get to a certain age and they're kind of like, ugh. But that's okay. We don't care. Age is just a number and we don't care about that, right?
My husband always tells me that I'm like 2 years older than I think I am, or I mean, 2 years older than I am, and he confuses me. And I was thinking that I was 36 and my birthday was coming up. And I wasn't, I was 35, but he had been telling me.
He
And
messed with your head on that?
so I got to live 36 over again. Like, it's like on my, like, the day before my birthday, I was like, I just gained a year back of my life.
Oh, that's too funny. I can't believe it.
So you're never too young to forget how old you are.
Well, it happens to me sometimes. I'm like, I gotta, you know, work backwards and think about it. So yeah, but it'll be another day. I'll be working and, you know, doing my thing and trying to pull the magazine together because we're getting down to crunch time. Publication will be June the 5th, as long as I get it all together.
It's
Yay!
gonna happen.
So yeah, so lots of good things coming on board here, and I'm glad that I got to give you an introduction. Excuse me, love that one.
Ooh.
An introduction to my community, and I'm so glad you're going to be part of the magazine and the books. I'm very excited about that, and I'm always excited to work closely with people around their story because that
Yeah.
makes my heart sing. So we're going to wrap up here, but I appreciate so much that you took the time to come on board and that you had somebody to, you know, handle the little one. So you can
Yes.
get a few minutes to yourself. And once again, so the best way to pre-order or get through to you is your Facebook, which is Be a Life Breather. Is that a group or just a Facebook page?
It's a Facebook page.
Okay.
And I've also posted on my personal profile as well.
Okay.
Chelsea Collie. So, but yeah, my book, my page, Be a Life Breather, has all the updates regarding my book.
Super. That's great. Thank you, Chelsea. I appreciate it. And to all of you out there in Lemonade Lounge, thank you so much for being a part of the Lemonade Legend podcast and spending some time with us today. So what's your story? I'd like to hear it. Let me know, and we'll have you on as a guest. So thank you so much to all of you out there, to Chelsea. I appreciate it. And this has been fantastic.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.